Hi everybody, my name is Rada. We're putting together a video. It's actually Kim's idea, and we think it's a very good idea because we have been going back and forth about this 5-pocket pen, and we figured that it was the best thing to do is to videotape what our findings are here against the TOP samples that we received and the mock-ups that we reviewed this morning. I received your plot outs. I had both of them printed out this morning, and I looked at the shrinkage and the non-shrinkage patterns. We also looked at the plot out that was sent yesterday, the pattern that was sent yesterday, and what we're finding is that there's something that is not being transpired in terms of our explanation. In my TOP comments, I systematically went step by step to explain what we found, and it seems that with these mock-ups, it's not what we want. The point here is that the pattern has been modified in a few places, and the biggest issue is that the back yoke was actually sewn upside down. And this is something that I outlined step by step. I wanted you to really look at the yoke and examine the measurement of the top and the bottom. So with the yoke, the bottom area is a curve, and there's actually a hidden dart when it's sewn into the body, and the top area is squared off at center back. There is no mountain peak. And if I lay this ruler on top of this pattern, you will see that there is a 90-degree angle for at least 3.5 inches. So from left to right, we have at least 7 inches, which is completely straight. If this yoke is stitched upside down, there is a mountain peak, of course. And this is what you keep, or we're finding that you keep giving us information on, is that the center back yoke is mountain peaking up. That's a fact, and it's because this yoke then needs to be reversed. And it would be, it's very self-explanatory. If you measure the top of the yoke, it will be shorter. And this is measuring 9 3/8. If we measure the body, this pattern is measuring 9 7/8. My copy of the pattern that was sent to you is measuring 9 3/4. In any case, the measurement of the bottom yoke is 9 7/8. So clearly 9 7/8 matches up to 9 7/8 and gets sewn this way. And there is a dart here. And with the dart, the center back will then go into the wearer's body. There will be no gaping out. What happened and what we found in the TOP samples was that the yoke was stitched upside down. So the yoke actually was stitched like this. And then, because the measurement was shorter, it was forced into the body, and this is why we're seeing all this puckering on the bottom, and we're seeing a fanning of the top edge. So it's clear that this yoke, instead of being stitched like this, where the 2 1/4 inches is preserved, it was stitched like this. So now this point is into the seam, is used up as seam allowance. This yoke has gotten shorter, and the shape of this yoke is now stitched into the top edge of the waistband seam and not the bottom edge. So if you can take the yoke piece that you have and measure the top and measure the body, I think it would be very clear for you to acknowledge and for you to see that this yoke was not stitched correctly. It was stitched upside down, okay? So these mock-ups really mean nothing to us. The fact that this pattern was not used correctly is the issue. There is one notch here, which I don't know why. I think it might be for the belt loop. And if that's the case, there should have been a second notch. So I'm not sure why there's a notch there. But in any case, this yoke needs to be stitched properly. On the front leg, I'm going to jump to the pocket facing because that was our second issue. There is pocket facing. There's a notch at the waist and a notch at the side. And what this does is it matches up, the notches match up to the waist, and the notch at the side matches up to the body. This is what gives us the pocket slack, or the hand entry. In sew, which is this sample, TOP sample, and I'm not sure about the mock-ups, but definitely the TOP sample, what had happened was the notches were not matching, and this yoke, this facing was stitched flat to the body. So there is a seam allowance here that becomes shortened and minimalized to the point where it now can be visible to anyone looking at it. It's too close. This notch, this opening, should have been moved over so that this seam allowance is tucked inside. So now we have virtually no hand entry when it's worn on a model, and we have a quality issue. That is not attractive. There were changes made to the front body as well. The front panel does not match perfectly. There were changes made to the center front rise and the crotch curve as well. So, and a little bit at the top edge. So in any case, I hope this video is helpful for you to understand the frustration that we've been having back and forth. The fact that, you know, we are trying to explain to you that the yoke has not been stitched on correctly. There were changes made to the pattern. There were issues in sew where the yoke was clearly not matching in your sew line to the front body. And you know, what we're seeing in our TOP samples are you know, is a product that is really not acceptable. I mean, we're shipping something that has mistakes, and we'd like for you to really study what I am saying and go back to your pattern and review and come back to us and really let us know whether you understand what we've been trying to say, what you're seeing at your end, and please acknowledge you know, some of the findings that we have here against what is happening in production. Thank you very much. I hope this was helpful.